Well, we're going to cross to Vancouver, speak to our correspondent Craig McCulloch, who joins us from there. So, Craig, despite Justin Trudeau and Joe Biden now taking a harder line, there's little sign, really, of these protests slowing down, is there?
Stuart, the determination is growing by the minute or by the second. We do have some late-breaking developments on the Ambassador Bridge, which is the busiest border crossing in all of Canada. And the City of Windsor and a couple of auto manufacturer associations are going to Ontario Superior Court to hope to get an injunction to end the blockade tomorrow. It's causing havoc on the auto industry because a number of auto plants, mostly in the Canadian side, have had to either shut down some product lines or end shifts and temporarily lay off some workers. And that's multiple auto manufacturers. And there's also, as you mentioned, there's also two other borders that are closed between Coutts, Alberta, and Sweetgrass, Montana. And the one that just got closed down today by semi-trucks, farm tractors, and in true Canadian fashion, snowplows, is between Emerson, Manitoba, and Pembina, North Dakota. Now, they're kind of rural areas. But on the second busiest border crossing, which is actually out here in the Vancouver area, there is also a protest. They're on the sidewalk just yelling and screaming and having a good old time. But that's where it currently stands right now in terms of the borders.
And let's look ahead to the weekend, Craig, because I know that things are likely to kick off, if that's the right word, once again this weekend as other people join in.
There is. In the past 2 weekends, there have been protests across Canada. All the protests you see in New Zealand and over there in France, actually all started right here in Vancouver, where a bunch of truckers started the convoy or caravan across Canada. What we have seen the past couple of weekends and what is anticipated to be happening this weekend is kind of mini convoys starting off in cities across Canada from the suburbs and going into the downtown part of each city. And we've seen that for the past 2 weekends. A lot of them are kind of sticking to some of them are sticking to the original protest, which is to eliminate the vaccine mandates and allow unvaccinated truckers across the border. But this is also spread. There's a lot of people that are opposed to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. To be honest, a lot of them are opposed to anything Trudeau because we have to not forget that Justin's dad, Pierre, was Prime Minister a few years ago. You have a lot of conspiracy theorists around them, and unfortunately, you do have some occasional neo-Nazis and swastikas. Ironically, there has also been a late-breaking news out of Ontario that the fundraising platform for the protesters, they did raise about $10 million US in GoFundMe. That was stopped, and then they went over to a platform called Give, Send, Go, and they've raised $8.2 million US so far. But the Ontario Supreme Court, or Superior Court, which has been busy with injunctions today by the sounds of it, says that Give, Send, Go cannot send money to the Canadian protesters, and those Canadian protesters cannot use that money. Give, Send, Go has reacted by saying, well, the Canadian government can't tell us what to do with our money. But the fact of the matter is, it's not the Canadian government, it's a Canadian court. And yes, they can actually rule and decide on what the money is used for here in Canada. So the Give, Send, Go might be Give, Send, Stop by the end of the day.
Craig, thanks very much. Craig McCulloch, our correspondent, talking to us there from Vancouver.